Hey guys, welcome back to Real Talk Bougie, guys. I have an update for you regarding Darnell Jones. So, Darnell Jones was back in court again yesterday. If you remember, he was in court on Friday. He had just come back from Columbus, Ohio, and they officially charged him with his crimes against his quote unquote daughter, Kei'Mani Latigue. Reason why I'm saying quote unquote is because Darnell was never officially legitimized as her father. So he called her his daughter. There's never been a DNA test, and she was not legitimized, so the relationship is not considered official. And word on the street is there were times where, um, according to Dorothy Latigue, the grandmother, where she states her daughter Tiara wasn't really sure who the father was. So, you know what I mean? Like, as far as this is concerned, I'm quite sure that law enforcement will do the appropriate DNA testing as they are going through this cycle, completing the investigation regarding the all of the events revolving around Kamani Latigue's death. But let's get into this quick update. Darnell Jones was wheeled back into court yesterday to be recharged on all of his charges. The bail still stands at $4 million. So let's get into it. Let's hear what was said. He's still in his turtle suit. So he, that's
The
that
man
is a
accused of killing
precaution
his
typically when someone is coming in and they're not quite sure of their mental state. And okay, so let's get into it.
daughter, Kei'Mani Latigue, was back in a courtroom today where his charges were actually refiled. A judge said Darnell Jones Ogletree's bond at $4 million. That's the amount that had been set last.
So, yes, recharged and reset. Everything has been reset. And you know what? With a case like this, it's better that if someone is not sure and T's are not crossed and I's are not dotted, it is better to go back at the beginning, get everything buttoned up, squared away, so that when this trial starts, there's no problems and people are not getting out on technicalities.
Last Friday when he first appeared in court. Jones is charged with murder, abduction, and felonious assault, and it's still not clear why the charges were refiled. He is due back in court later this week. Now, as we continue on in this story tonight, we are looking into the fire that broke out.
I mean, he's looking like he's very much in pain. Um, Unfortunately, we're going to watch the rest of this report. I do think that there is a video. I will cue it up that has a little bit more of this last court appearance for us. But as you can see, as I'm scrolling through, they're going to take us to 1101 Miami Street. The house has been completely destroyed. Just so happened there was some random fire at the location where Kamani Latigue's remains were found, and the whole entire structure has been demolished. It was on fire, and as according to the authorities, they don't even know how it was set, but it was ablaze, and they ended up going ahead and taking it all the way down. So I guess let's hear this part of the report, and then we'll circle back to Darnell in court.
Charged with murder, abduction, and felonious assault, and it's still not clear why the charges were refiled. He is due back in court later this week. Now, as we continue on in this story tonight, we are looking into the fire that broke out at the home on Miami Street earlier, in fact, over the weekend. That is the site where 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue's body was found last month. And now, as you see behind me, it's a pile of rubble. Silver Barker, she had a chance to speak with Toledo Fire and Rescue and joins us now with the details of that conversation. Silver?
Yeah, Jeff, there's no word on the cause yet. However, Toledo Fire and Rescue tells me its lead investigator is looking into the situation of what caused the fire, and he tells me he's got a few leads.
The house where police say Kei'Mani Latigue was murdered is now a pile of rubble. It was abandoned, and the city had fenced it off, but a fire Saturday morning forced Toledo City crews to take down what was left. Some people who saw it in flames say they're happy to see it come down.
Mixed feelings, mixed emotions. Happy to see it come down, but also prayerfully that everything that was needed that was out of there.
Many question if this will impact the police investigation. I reached out to the Toledo Police Department. TPD says its detectives do not believe it will. However, that may not be the case for other departments. I reached out to the Lucas County Prosecutor's Office, reading in part, quote, "This act not only placed Toledo Fire and Rescue personnel in an extremely dangerous and unnecessary situation, but it also compromised a location that remains critical in an ongoing criminal investigation. This site held evidentiary value for all parties involved in the pursuit of justice, and its destruction is both reckless and troubling." I reached out to Kei'Mani's aunt, Sanika Williams. She says the fire just pushed the process faster. She feels as if people in the community were upset that the house was still standing, and as a result, she says it looks like they took matters into their own hands.
Well, that was stupid because I'm quite sure they probably got most of everything they needed, but it's unfortunate if they didn't get everything that they needed. But again, it wasn't protected by the elements. Anybody could walk through there. They'd already taken the crime scene tape down. It's unfortunate, but I mean, Google Images, it's still there. Okay. It's still there. This is the corner of Wilmot and Miami. The house still stands. So there's things that you can see. You can get a good idea of the location. You can get a good idea of the scene. If you remember the how the scene played out when Kei'Mani's grandmother was over here and the crowd was, all of the things. This is what it looks like in this area. So, thank goodness for Google Images, and we can see a lot and it'll be okay. At the end of the day, it's what's done is already done. There's nothing that else can happen with this particular site. So.
And now we'll make sure to keep you updated as we're waiting to learn what caused the fire from Toledo Fire and Rescue. Now, as for the murder, I did reach out to Toledo Police regarding more suspects. Could there be more suspects in this case? However, their comment was no comment, as this is still under investigation. Reporting live in East Toledo, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.
Okay, so let's pivot over here. And let's see what's
accused of abducting and killing his teenage daughter in Toledo last month, returning to a Toledo courtroom today. Darnell Jones appearing in a wheelchair and back before a judge. Prosecutors refiled the charges, which are murder, abduction, and felonious assault. Jones's bond, $4 million. Police records claim that he confessed to killing his 13-year-old daughter, Kei'Mani Latigue. A coroner found the girl's throat had been cut. Jones has been ordered to have no contact with the family of the victim. A preliminary hearing is set for Thursday. And his court appearance comes in the wake of a fire at the...
Okay, so this is the deal. It's possible this is obviously some technicalities. There is a reason they're not going to just refile charges just to refile charges, but there was either something was missed, something was, I don't want to say something was improper, but there had to have been some reason to refile, and taking this precaution now on the front end before anything occurs, in terms of as they're getting deeper and deeper into this process, it's just better. It's just better, and it's going to make for a smoother process and for delivery of justice. Let's see what it says. Now, as far as people speculating as to why the building was burned down, at the end of the day, this was still someone's property and also an active crime. It's not an active crime scene, but it's a crime scene nonetheless. And for someone to take it in their own hands to destroy this property that, still could have sometimes there's evidence that we just don't know. And for someone to take it upon themselves to think that it was a good idea um, to set the location on fire, it just makes you wonder, it just makes you wonder, is that the reason? Or is somebody covering something up? Who knows? Anyway, let's catch another report about the fire real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Let's see.
This morning as breaking news. The house where 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue's body was found last month is now demolished after a fire broke out there this morning. Sophia Perico.
So when they're saying this morning, this was April 19th. April 19th was, I think, Saturday. So this happened Saturday. And again, Darnell was, so give you a timeline of what we're talking about right now. Darnell first appeared in Toledo on the 18th, Friday. This fire took place Saturday, the 19th, and Darnell was back in court yesterday, the 21st. Okay, yesterday, Monday. Okay, let's get into this.
Tony has the latest.
The site of a horrific crime in East Toledo is now a pile of rubble. On Saturday morning, Toledo Fire and Rescue worked the flames at 1101 Miami Street, the abandoned home where 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue's body was found on March 28th. She had been reported missing just a week before. According to court documents, her father, Darnell Ogletree, confessed to killing her at the now destroyed home.
My reaction was just like, wow.
Toledo Fire tackled the flames from the outside. Since the home was a code red, crews couldn't attack from the inside. Officials said it was too unstable. Ronche Allison was near the home Saturday morning, caring for the memorial set up in Kei'Mani's honor, when she saw smoke.
The cross and stuff was knocked over, so me and my husband, we picked that up. And like I said, when we came around and I seen smoke, and I was like, wow, something's on fire.
Just hours later, an excavator was brought in to finish what the fire started. The home now completely demolished.
I know the people next door are happy. I mean, that's a lot of drama. The situation with Kei'Mani, you find, there's a fire, then they locate the remains of Kei'Mani, and then, you've got mourners coming through. It's a lot. It's a lot for the people who have to live in that neighborhood to have to deal with, they're living with this situation. People are coming by to visit and things like that. But then you've also got people who mean absolutely no good and setting fires next door to your home. You know what I mean? That's just a lot. This is the second fire in a month, along with the remains of a child. This is horrible. So it'll bring some relief to the community at large in that neighborhood. And from what I understand, they moved the memorial across the street.
The city of Toledo said it planned to demolish the house at some point, pending the investigation. The home was declared a nuisance just 2 days after Kei'Mani's body was found there.
Mixed feelings, mixed emotions. Happy to see it come down, but also prayerfully that everything that was needed, that was out of there.
In a statement to WTOL 11, the city said in part, quote, per EPA requirements, debris from the demolition will need to remain on the property for several days before it can be removed. We want to assure the community that the memorial items placed in Kei'Mani's honor were not impacted by the fire and will not be impacted by the demolition. We know this is an emotional moment for many, and we are grateful for the care this community has shown in honoring Kei'Mani.
I'm praying that justice will prevail for her, and then all of our babies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful memorial. People have dropped many things off, and I guess they wanted to take a lot of effort to not hurt, to harm the memorial in any way. So in any case, Darnell was back in court. That is a necessary situation. They had to have him back on Monday, handle that business, and make sure that he is properly charged and everything is handled. So I guess a news crew set up a camera and wow. So there is a hour-long video of the fire. I guess so here's the ladder showing up. And if you just look down here, I guess this is everything as it was happening. I guess they just let it burn for a bit. It's persistent. And it's, look, word on the Facebook streets is that potentially, people are trying to get rid of some evidence. I mean, it looks like another second floor fire. I don't know where they started it, but who knows? It look, who knows? Somebody somebody could have dropped something in there and realized, you know what? I can't find it. But they took that thing down. Okay. Communities out there. It's gone. Extinguishing the fire. But that's it on fire. Any case, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. This is, it's a sad situation for the people of Toledo, but I'm sure there's some healing in having this particular site gone. Now, all that will remain are the memories and the memorial. And, I'm quite sure they got what they needed from that house, but it's just odd that a fire sparked. Um, Darnell's back in town. He gets charged. A fire sparks the following day. The house has now been completely destroyed. Was it the community? Was it some shenanigans? Was somebody coming through? Look, that's where they moved the memorial. So it's right behind the house. So as you can see, here's the memorial, and then there's kind of like an alley leading to those homes. And they are let's see because this is, people want to know. So here's the memorial here, and then looks like there's a alley that goes to the homes. There's the memorial, there's the house, and there's a street leading back to people's garages and driveways and things like that. So somewhat more of like an alley, and there's the memorial. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a wonderful day. Definitely justice for Kei'Mani Latigue, and Darnell will definitely be answering for his crimes sooner than later in a court of law. And they're having the preliminary hearing on Thursday, guys. Okay. So we will be back on Thursday with the update regarding Darnell's preliminary hearing. And if it's covered live, we will be watching it live. Okay. You guys have a wonderful day. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel, set your notifications, and make sure to thumbs up this video. And I will have another update for you as soon as something comes up. Make sure to comment down below. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day.